Hello friends, my name is Arwen. Welcome back to the Durham County Public Library website. I'm so pleased to have you here for a story. I have a fairy tale today about two sisters. And since it's a fairy tale, how do you think it begins? That's right. Once upon a time, there were two sisters. One was very helpful, and the other was not. One day, the helpful sister was sitting on the edge of the well in the yard, and she dropped her ball of yarn down it. She needed the yarn to finish the socks she was knitting, so she reached into the well to pull it out, but she fell. Luckily for her, this is a fairy tale and it was a magic well, and she landed in a meadow, not in water. She stood up and she saw a cottage, so she walked over to the cottage, hoping that the people there could help her get home. She knocked on the door, and the scariest looking woman she had ever seen answered the door. However, this woman was not in reality scary. She only looked scary. She was very friendly and invited the girl in and said, "Would you mind helping me with some chores? I'm old and tired and creaky, and I would love some help." And the girl said, "Well, of course. Why wouldn't I? What can I do for you?" And the old woman said, "First, could you go into the kitchen and pull out all the loaves of bread from the oven because they are done and I don't want them to burn?" The girl said, "Well, I'd be happy to." And she went and she opened the door to the oven, which was very messy and dirty, so she got soot all over herself, but she got all of the loaves of bread out and set them to cool. The old woman said, "Thank you so much. In the yard, there is an apple tree. Would you mind gathering the apples that have fallen today and putting them in the cellar so that I have them for the rest of the year?" The girl said, "Of course, I would be happy to." And she went and she gathered all the apples and she made sure to find every last one and put them in the cellar, neatly stacked for the old woman. Then the old woman invited the girl to have dinner because it was dinner time. And after dinner said, "I have one more task and it is very important because I need you to fluff my feather bed until the feathers fly because that is how snow falls on the earth." The girl said, "Well, I'd be happy to be part of such an important process." And she fluffed the feather bed and fluffed it until feathers were flying everywhere, and there was a beautiful snowfall on the earth because of it. In the morning, the old woman asked the girl, "Would you like to go home?" And the girl said, "Well, I would like to go home a great deal. I miss my family, but what will you do? Don't you need help with all your chores?" And the old woman said, "Don't worry. People are always falling down the well and stopping and helping me with chores. I'll be fine, but thank you for caring. To get home, what you need to do is walk down that path, make sure you go through the gate, and there will be your house. It's magic." So the girl did as the old woman said, and as she walked through the gate, she was showered in gold. And as you may have guessed, because this is a fairy tale, the girl's family was very poor, and so this gold would be very helpful to them. When the girl got home, she told her family all about what had happened, and her sister thought, I would like to have some gold just for me. I'm going to go to that old woman. So the sister went and she jumped down the well and went up to the cottage and knocked on the door. And the scary-looking old woman, who was actually very friendly, answered and said, "I'm so pleased to see you. I have some chores that I need help with. Would you mind helping me?" And the girl said, "Okay, what do you need me to do?" And the old woman said, "Well, first, I have some bread baking in the oven, and it's ready. Could you go pull it out before it burns?" The sister kind of huffed. She didn't want to do it because she didn't want to mess up her new dress, because she'd gotten a new dress when her sister came home with all the gold. And so she went in and she kind of slowly pulled on the door and she was so slow that she didn't get the bread out in time and the bread burned. The woman said, "Well, I have another chore that I would love for you to do. Could you go out back and pick up all the apples that fell out of the tree today and put them in the cellar for me so I can have them for the rest of the year?" The sister went out and looked around. She gathered some of the apples, but she didn't look very hard, so she definitely left some to rot. And when she put them in the cellar, she didn't stack them nicely. So she didn't do a good job with that chore either. Then they both had dinner, and after dinner, the old woman said, "Now, I need you to know that this next task is not just for me, it's for the whole world. I need you to fluff my feather bed until the feathers fly so that winter and snow can come to the earth. And I don't know why this happened in 2 days. Time-space continuum, I'm not sure. So the girl went in and she kind of half-heartedly fluffed the feather bed, but she didn't care about the old woman's feather bed or whether or not people would get snow on the earth, so she didn't do a very good job. And in the morning she said, okay, I did the chores for you, I'm ready to go. And the old woman said, well, okay, just go down the path to that gate, walk through the gate, and you'll see your house because, the magic. So the girl ran down the path, eager to be done with her chores, went through the gate, and instead of being showered in gold, she was showered in ashes. And for the rest of her life, she could not get the ashes out of her hair. As a reminder that when you are to help people, you should help them cheerfully and willingly and do a good job. Like the helpful sister, who whenever she brushed her hair, gold fell out. The end. Thank you again.